let's play some London Detective Mysteria. So, Mysteria will be going back to being our main game, so we'll be going back to playing this game a lot more than we have over this month. So get ready for more peak Kobayashi content. I was saying you should get branded with a hot iron, making you a dunce for using generative AI. Yeah, that's a good idea. Just get like an iron thing put on you that like is very visible to people. Put it on your forehead that says I'm an idiot whenever you want to use generative AI. Alright. But yeah, last time, what was it? Everyone got caught by the cultists. God, sorry, I got reminded. Yeah, everyone got kidnapped by the cultists and locked up, I think. I saw the picture again of Tiff punching Roland, and he says, "You're not as quick as someone I used to know." Literally went, yeah, my wife was way better at punching me. Damn. Kobayashi, can you still your tongue for a moment? You're not the only one here angry about what has happened. Ellipse. And why did you have to wave the white flag to Porlock so quickly anyway? The two of us had fought together! If we had continued to fight, those children would have been in grave danger. Surely you realize that. Love the stream title, by the way. Thank you. I scrambled to type it quickly. The big baller Kobayashi versus the average Joe Akechi. The going live notification is also good. You may find love, or you may get murdered. IDK, figure it out yourself. I'm not liable for this. I'm doing something stupid one moment. Even so, you still gave up far too easily. Just dropped your katana to the deck without so much as a moment's hesitation. Oh right, yeah, Porlock showed up and he was like, drop your sword or I murder these children in front of you. Damn! He just punched Akechi. Oh, you didn't get the notification? Suddenly, Kobayashi lashed out, striking Akechi. Akechi took the punch in stride, returning to his friend only a piercing gaze. Yeah. You're not as quick as someone I used to know. My future wife is way better at punching me. I didn't cast it away because I wanted to. Then, why did you? When you relinquished your sword, you threw away your pride with it. No matter how great the adversary, or adversity, that's the one thing you have ever refused to let go of. I'll not sit here and listen to this. You have no right to lecture me with such arrogance. This time, it was Akechi who lashed out to strike Kobayashi, his fist driving into his friend's cheek. But even as Kobayashi reeled from the punch, Akechi grabbed him by his shoulders. Oh, the boys are fighting. You know nothing of how I feel. Just don't act as though you do. How could I possibly know? You're the one who prides himself on keeping a cool demeanor, precisely because it renders others unable to tell how you truly feel. Kobayashi wound back his fist, preparing to strike Akechi a second time. Have you any idea how hard it is being the assistant to a stiff-necked, emotionally impervious pain in the arse who refuses to vent even the most mundane among his woes? Who simply lets his stress and worry build up inside him like a blight? Damn, Kobayashi. Jesus Christ. Akechi continued to glare at him with the same piercing stare, clenching his fists tightly. If being my assistant is such an onerous duty, why don't you simply quit? That's a great title. Thank you. Life would be far simpler if I could simply be quit of you, idiot! I can't quit you. Brokeback detectives. Don't you call me an idiot. You tell everyone not to speak of your master, yet you continue to obsess over him. Pull yourself together already. Kobayashi continues to be based as hell. Love this dude. You're the one who ought to pull himself together. Kobayashi grasped Akechi by the collar, slamming him into the wall. Damn, he kabedonin Akechi? I'm not scared of you when you're unarmed. Take away that katana and all you are is a hard-headed half-wit. Damn. Hold on. Holy shit. Dwelling on the past, is that all you see it as? Do you have any idea what we've done? Sunk cost fallacy. Because the work we have done, people have died, murdered by these people, and we were never the wiser. Appealed to emotion. Have you any idea how hard it is being the assistant to a stiff-necked, emotionally impervious pain in the arse who refuses to vent even the most mundane among his woes, who simply lets his stress and worry build up inside him like a blight ad hominem? Good shit. See, this is why Akechi's route is peak. Are you spoiling for a fight? You guys literally just like sat here punching you guys out. I think you guys are already fighting, girl. And what if I am? Bring it on, I say. Their punch-punctuated argument escalated into a full-on fight as the two exchanged heated blows again and again until both fell to the ground exhausted. You guys know that we were kidnapped by like a bunch of cultists and that like, you know, maybe we should save our energy for like punching out the cultists? Just a random thought. Listen, Ken-chan. Stop calling me Ken-chan. Fine, Akechi. I don't think, given our current situation, it's a good time for us to be fighting like this. You're so right, Kobayashi! I say this all the time. Says the one who started it. Kobayashi always says what I'm thinking. Love this dude. I may have lit the match, but you were all too happy to add the kindling. At any other time, you would have simply brushed it off or ignored me. Yes, you are so smart, Kobayashi. Coming to a conclusion that you are causing the problem. Bro, you literally just were sitting here fighting him. What do you mean, Akechi? It would be incredibly immature of me to allow myself to be goaded into a fight by the taunting and jeering of one younger than me. You literally just sat here fighting him. Okay, so are you admitting that you're immature? Is that it? Hello, what'd I miss? Akechi and Kobayashi just started punching each other out. Yeah, he got goaded into a fight because he swung first. Notice it was not the words. Says the one who just did that. My dude! That's my guy! That's my guy! He always says what I'm thinking. Kobayashi shot Akechi a dissatisfied glare. I'm an idiot. That's my guy. You're also an idiot. That's my guy. They're spittin'. Besides, I never had time or reason to quarrel with you anyway. Then what was that you guys just did?
昔からそうだったよな。喧嘩するにしても、いつも俺と明智は共闘してた。
True enough. When we did fight, we were always on the same side, you and I. The entire point of this scene is them establishing that they were both in the wrong. You can't just pick one person's side. I will always align with Kobayashi, because Kobayashi is based in true and has never disappointed me. All those times I was bullied, you always used to rush to my aid, without so much as a second thought. You were bullied? Okay, who am I gonna have to kill? Just asking. If you had simply been picking fights, I would have left you to reap your just deserts. You were always standing up for those smaller than yourself. I'm sorry, Akechi. Akechi tilted his head, puzzled at Kobayashi's impromptu apology. Are you apologizing for turning on me earlier? What is this? I'm throwing eggs at you. Egg attack. I'm cooking them faster than you can throw them. Good meme. No, it's not. I have no intention of apologizing for that. I was just thinking, perhaps if I had backed you up against those nobles back then, you wouldn't have landed in the trouble you did. You were giving him a distraction to sneak in, though. Or no, he's talking about way earlier in the plot. Never mind. Yeah, the nobles when he defended the one guy that got him disowned from Akechi's family, right? Even if you had come to my defense, all you would have accomplished is giving them 2 targets rather than 1. If anything, I'm relieved that I was able to shoulder the whole of the burden alone. Look, Ken-chan. How many times must I tell you not to call me... Please, just drop the whole cool and flinching loner act. I know you truly respected your master, from the bottom of your heart. He represented everything you sought to be. You tell me that it was for the best that you ended up being driven out, as though you're trying to convince yourself, but I think being cast out has made you terribly lonely. That's not... Akechi hesitated in his response, and Kobayashi simply continued to speak. Emily in adjacent cage doing opium with the guards. Gay! Yeah, Kobayashi's getting all of the character development with Akechi right now. I've been by your side this entire time. I've helped you, supported your endeavors. In all that time, I've yet to see anyone as hard-headed as you. Or as dependable. This is my boyfriend Akechi. And this is my boyfriend's boyfriend, Kobayashi.
ちも辛くなるんだよな。
But whenever I see you trying to act as though you aren't suffering when I know you are, pouring yourself into training as if that will dispel all your hurts, it's painful for me to watch too.
でもさ、
Still, now that I've knocked you off your feet, that means this belt goes to me, doesn't it?
俺、お前から一本取ったってことでいいよね。だったら
And that means you've got to listen to what I...
自分だって倒れ
What
込
are
んで
you
いる
going
の
on
に
about?
何を
You're
言っている
sprawled
の
out
か
on the ground no less than
相
I.
打ちは数に
Fighting to
入
a
るのさ
draw does not victory make.
それに
Besides that,
僕は
I've
今まで
never
辛
once
いだなんて
suffered in the way you
一度も
described. Copium. The worst part about the whole matter is that you're not even conscious of what you're doing.
お前はさ、
It'd be far better for you if you were simply honest and open with your feelings, like you were that time you hugged Emily.
レディーに抱きついた時みたいに。おい、
Akechi?
明智。
Akechi, however, had fallen completely silent, and Kobayashi's words fell upon unhearing ears.
へえ思ってたより可愛くて
You're
元気そう
cuter
だ
and
か
more
らね
sprightly than I was expecting.
はじ
A
めま
pleasure
して
to make your
お嬢
acquaintance,
さん
young lady. Oh, God. He endeavored to move as far as possible from the man who had introduced himself as Porlock. He leaned against the bars of my cage, staring in at me. Bro, leave me alone. I just want to do some opium, bro. His voice was cheerful, and a grin played at the corners of his lips. His eyes remained unimpassioned, cold as ice. Bring me more crack! You were supposed to have been sentenced to lifetime imprisonment.
ああその通りでも優秀だからって脱獄させてくれたんだ昔の上司がね
You're not wrong, I was. But because I'm such a skilled gent, you see, I was set free by my old boss.
ちょうど不自由な監獄暮らしにも飽きてたしそのお誘いに乗ったんだ
I was beginning to tire of life in a cold, cramped cell, as you might imagine, so I decided to take him up on his offer.
そういえば君あのホワイトリー家の当主なんだって
Come to think of it, you're the head of House Whiteley, aren't you?
それがどうしたというの？
What of it?
別に親が殺されて大変だろうなって思っただけホワイトリーの人間が生きていようがいまいが僕には関係ないしね
Oh, nothing much. I just thought it must be a rough time having your parents killed. Though, whether the Whiteley family carries on or fizzles out is none of my concern.
たかが組織のお偉いさんのご機嫌を取るために無駄な労力なんて使いたくないんだ
I don't care to go out of my way just to butter up the organization's top brass.
でも貴族のお嬢様だったらこんな狭い檻は辛くない
Still, as a noble, it can't be fun rotting in a cell like this. Oh no, I'm used to it. This happens like every other Tuesday for me.
快適よ。
It's actually quite comfortable. Now that I've gotten used to it. You can't make this shit up. Emily, please. Unaware of what thoughts might be simmering behind his unfeeling eyes, I can't help but feel a certain nervousness being near him. Have higher standards.
そういうそっけない皮肉を返す
Funny thing, I'm rather
僕も嫌い
fond
じゃ
of
ない
those who put on a front.
素直にな
Equal
った
parts
時とのギ
bravery
ャ
and
ップが楽しめ
sarcasm.
るから
It makes it that much more fun when they start being honest.
でも君をここに閉じ込めて
I can't deny that I
少しだけ
do
両親
feel
が
a
痛んで
twinge
い
of
るのは
regret
本当
about
さ
locking you up in here.
あれだけたくさんの
Just
子供
me?
を
Or do you refer to all those other children you have locked up?
うん君は
Unlike
可愛い
them,
から
you're
特別さ
pretty, so you're a special case.
正直
Believe it or
もう
not,
見飽きたんだ
at
よね
this point, I myself am sick of dealing with
眠らせ
children.
るか
They're ceaseless fonts of noise unless you put them to sleep or administer drugs. Too lazy to add sprites. Let me see. It's actually comfortable now that I'm used to it.
言うことを聞かせやすいのは長所だけど、うるさくてすぐに使い物にならなくなるのが短所だよね。
The upside, of course, is that it's far easier to mold them into the image you would have them take than it is with adults. The noise and the ease with which they can be rendered useless are still a bit of a problem, though.
ま、だからたくさん用意して補充できるようにするんだけど。
Thankfully, I brought along plenty of spares. I can't help but shudder at the way he spoke so casually about his entire operation.
あなた補充だなんてなんてことを
Spares? How can you even say such a dreadful thing?
僕の役に立ってくれる
I'll
んだった
tell you
ら
what. If you make
君を
yourself
ここから出して
useful,
あげて
I'll
もいい
let
け
you
ど
out of here.
どう
How does that sound?
私は
I refuse to cooperate.
そんなこと
別に
Of
君が好
course
き
you
好ん
won't.
で
It
従
was
うなんて
never
思
my
ってない
expectation that you would.
嫌だろう
Not
けど
willingly,
僕
at
は
any
君
rate.
を従わせる
But what if I were to tell you that you'll be obeying me whether or not you will it?
いいえ
No, I will not obey you no matter what. I have no intention of doing the bidding of a man who treats children as some disposable resource.
従うつもりはないわ
What if I gave you opium, though? Okay.
犯罪の片棒を担ぐくらいなら
I'd rather rot in this cage to the end of my days if the alternative is abetting a criminal.
へえ
Unless I'm on Jack's
随
route,
分強気で自信が
then
あ
I'm
る
cool with it.
逃げ出せるとでも思ってるの
My, that's quite the confident statement for someone on the less fortunate side of iron bars. Do you truly think you'll be able to engineer some miraculous escape?
さっきも似たようなセ
Well,
リフを
it's
返
not
さ
the
れた
first time today I've extended a kind offer only to be spurned. But your rejection was even icier than the last.
あの侍くんも
It seems that young samurai isn't the only one who fails to understand the position they're in. Samurai?
僕は人の
I
心に
find the
当てにし
feelings
な
of
い
others to be unreliable at
能
the
力
best
の
of
ある人材
times,
には感
but
謝
I do take a keen interest in their capabilities.
本当なら殺して構わないところを
I could kill you here now and be done with it, but in deciding that your services may be of worth to me, I'm extending to you the chance to live. I'd count it a considerable kindness, wouldn't you?
思わないわ
Not in the least.
そ
That's
れ
no
は
way
た
to
だの
live.
飼い殺しよ
You're a man who will sacrifice others without a second thought. Even
子供たちを犠
children,
牲にしている
for
だけ
your
だ
own
わ
profit.
どうせ給品員
With
で使い潰される
sacrifice,
運命なん
they
だ
were destined to be worked to
だ
death
った
in the
ら
workhouses
僕たちの
anyway.
役に立つ方がよっ
Serving
ぽ
me
ど有意義
is
だ
a
と
far
思う
more
よ
meaningful use of what life they have.
それに
Besides,
不自由
I
なく
cannot
生きてき
say I
た
find
人
the
間の
words of
言
a
葉
girl who has lived her life being weighted on hand and foot particularly stirring. Damn!
そんな貴族のお嬢様に一つ尋ねたいんだけど
But here, I have a question for you, little miss.
この刀に見覚えある
You wouldn't happen to recognize this sword, would you?
これは明智さんの
That's Akechi's! I was stunned to see Akechi's precious katana in Porlock's possession.
明智さんまさか捕まって
Akechi, he couldn't have been captured, could he? Yes, and instead of focusing on how to escape or take me down, him and Kobayashi just sat there punching each other out for like an hour. That's my bit. My heart began to race. I clenched my fists, palms moist. Steadfastly, I avoided Porlock's gaze. They might not detect how shaken I was.
落ち着くのよ私を助けるために来てくれたんだとバレたらそれを利用されるかもしれない
I need to calm myself. If he should realize that Akechi came here to rescue me, he would surely use that against him.
それだけは したくない。
Oh my god, you're thinking. And that is the one thing I want him to do least of all.
見覚えなんてないわ。
I can't say it looks familiar, no. I did my utmost to keep my voice steady as I spoke.
へえ、そうなんだ。君の知り合いのものじゃないの？
Really? I thought it might belong to an acquaintance of yours, perhaps.
知らないわ。
I've never seen it before.
あっそ。君に心当たりのあるものだったら興味も湧いたんだけど。
A
違う
shame.
のか？
I'd hoped you might recognize the blade, but as you seem not to, it is of little interest to me.
残念だな。僕はフェンシング派だからサーベルだったらよかったんだけど。
I'm more a dabbler in fencing. With a proper saber, I would have at least had a personal use for it.
こんな骨董
However, I am no
もう
dealer in
僕には必要ない
antiques,
し
nor even a
何の
collector.
価値もないね。
What I have no use for,
さっさと
I
捨
would
てよ
just as well cast away. What?
幸い船の四方は
Fortunately,
海に
it's
囲ま
never
れて
easier
るか
to be rid of
らゴミ
rubbish
捨て場には
than
困
when
ら
out
ない。
at sea.
今
I
すぐ海に
suppose
投
I'll
げ
just
捨てて
throw
き
it
てあげる。
overboard when I'm on the deck. Don't! Oh, Emily. Porlock made as though to leave, katana in hand, but before I realized it, I had called out after him.
やめ。
Don't.
君。
Were you not
年上への
raised to
頼み
speak more
方って
politely
知って
when
る？
making requests of your elders? Complete moron.
やめて
Please, don't throw it
くださ
away.
い。
Please.
お願いだから。
Ah, yes.
そうそうやって
Nothing
素
is
直に
quite
なっ
as
た
so
方がいい。
refreshing as a
もっ
little
といじめたく
honesty.
なるから。
Makes me want to tease you all the more.
だけど
Still,
君って
you
仲間
surely
思い
care
なんだね。
greatly for your friends, don't
自
you?
分を曲げてて
Covering
も
for them even
捕
when
ま
it
った
means
仲間を
betraying
か
your
ば
own
おうとするんだ
principles.
から。他人のために必死になる人間って
Unfortunately, there's nothing I despise more than a
一番嫌い
bleeding
なんだよね、
heart,
僕。
willing to go to any length to aid others.
見ててイライラ
The
す
very
るんだ。
sight of it gills me. No! With a sudden motion, he violently pitched the katana into the cage holding the children. It clattered loudly against the floor, bouncing several times before it slid to a stop. The noise seemed so loud in that quiet place, it froze me to the spot. Why would he do that?
次に僕の誘いを断っ
The
たら
next time you refuse my
君はすごく
invitation,
後悔するこ
you'll
とにな
come
る
to
よ。
dearly regret
多分
it.
ね。
Perhaps. Why did you give it to the children? Why did you give the children a weapon?
東洋人の仲間が大切だったら
Now you're just gonna get stabbed by an 8-year-old. For real. Wait, whoops. But this I will say, if that Easterner is someone important to you, I suggest you think carefully about your position here. As soon as he had left, I fell to my knees. Akechi's katana was far out of reach. And yet, even knowing the futility of my struggle, I stretched my arm as far as I was able through the bars. I pressed with all the force I could muster, squeezing my upper arm through so narrow a gap. I felt the tightening pain in my shoulder. Still, I could not help but try. Can't quite reach. The frustration was nigh unbearable. Whoops. No.
目の前にあるのに
It's right there before me.
私は
Such an important possession to him.
さんの大切な
Why
も
not
のを
even protect this one small thing?
守れないの。ポロックに従うなんてできないわ。
Not possibly heed Porlock's demands. But if something were to happen to Akechi and Kobayashi,
ケツさんと小林くんにもしものことがあったら
I tried to summon forth as much courage as I could in the face of his taunting. But ultimately, I'd ended up allowing myself to be rattled and given him exactly what he had wanted.
弱気になっ
This
て
isn't the time to be losing heart. The two of them are here in the same ship. I'm not alone here.
同じ船の中にいるんだから。
As if to beat back the worry and loneliness that threatened to overwhelm me, I clenched my fist and pushed, trying to earn even one more inch of reach through the bars that held me prisoner. Meanwhile, elsewhere aboard the ship, Akechi, confined within a cage of his own along with Kobayashi, stared down at his left hand. Are you feeling restless, Akechi? No, I wouldn't say it's that. You're worried about Emily, aren't... What is it? Don't even think of pretending that... Just hush. Someone is coming. Hearing at last the slowly approaching footsteps, Kobayashi turned his attention cautiously in that direction. The footsteps stopped in front of their cell. Wait, that sounds like Pendleton. I have a matter in which I would like to employ 2 detectives. Despite his proximity, the man stood in the shadows, rendering the features of his face indistinguishable.
Porlock
Am I like insane? This sounds like Pendleton. My request is that you put a stop to the human trafficking operation being run by Porlock and his men. Akechi is the killer. Case closed. Yeah, it was definitely him. Just who are you? It sounds like him. He's just like saying things like a bit more like, I don't know. He's like taking on a different cadence, but it sounds like him. That I cannot reveal. Know, however, that I am counting on you. I don't know. If he was here, he would probably just kill everyone on the ship immediately. True. As the man spoke, he tossed something between the bars of their cage. Kobayashi was quick to snatch it up. Oh, it is Pendleton! This is the rest of my 7 tools. I could have sworn I left them at Emily's house. His purpose seemingly fulfilled, the mysterious visitor turned and walked away, the sound of his footsteps growing more distant. Well, why the fuck is he dicking around? Is he like a double agent or something? Hey, wait, you! What do you suppose this was all about? It would seem we have been given a job to complete. Yes, but by whom? And for what purpose? I wish I knew. It may be possible that... Have you worked it out already? No, but it seems plain he gave us those, and that we might free ourselves to do as he bids us. They gassed him up as some hyper-competent mega freak who rolls up with a gun if Emily is in trouble. Why is he delegating solving the problem that is immediately in front of him to the Blowjob Brothers? Maybe he's doing something more important? Maybe he's gonna take down Porlock or rescue Emily or something, I don't know. Akechi glanced at Kobayashi's tools, selecting a utility knife from among them. He slid the knife into the lock, then with a sharp twist of his wrist, turned the blade, destroying its mechanism from within. Regardless of whether we take up his request, there's no reason for us to stay prisoners here. Wait, Akechi. Pendleton turns evil. I wouldn't blame him, to be honest. I would too, working with Emily all this time. Yeah, go right ahead. Go kidnap her. See if I care. Akechi showed no hesitation to leave the cage, but Kobayashi placed his hand firmly on Akechi's shoulder, forcing him to pause.
今から俺が言うこと、よく聞けよ。
Alright, Akechi. I want you to really listen to what I'm going to say.
お前は確かに強い。だけど、それはお前が思い切り戦えていたらの場合だ。
I'll not deny you're strong, but you're only able to bring your true strength to bear when you fight at your full potential unhindered. That's the cursed endings for the Jack the Ripper route. Pendleton learning that you're pursuing Jack too early.
人質を取られたりしたら、優しいお前は
Takes you out back with a
絶対に
shotgun.
自分よりそっちを優先させる。
When a situation necessitates you fight while safeguarding someone, or fight while taking a hostage's safety into account, your kind spirit leads you to ever prioritize them above your own self.
そうなったら絶対に勝てない。
In our present situation, if you fight with such things holding you back, you won't be able to win.
小林。
I see.
だからお前はポーロックたちを倒すことだけを考えろ。他のことは考えるな。
You just focus on taking down Porlock and his men. Put all else from your mind.
レディも
Leave protecting Emily and the children to me.
俺が
I
絶
swear,
対に守り
I'll
切るから
not fail you in this.
守りながら戦うのは
To fight while keeping another from harm is no easy task.
よく知ってるよ。
I know it, and better than most. I've been by your side every step of the way, haven't I?
お前一人に任せる
I
わ。
couldn't possibly leave such a responsibility to you unaided.
ひどいな。これでも
Damn,
俺
have
は
a
明智
little
の助手だ
faith.
ぜ。
I'm your
そっちは
assistant.
俺のこと
Would it hurt to trust me with something important every now and then?
さもないと。
If after all this time you really can't put your trust in me, I really will quit.
それは困りますね。
Can't be having that.
海の上でも丘の上で
After
も
all, I may very well be the sole individual on land or sea capable of handling a troublemaker like you. Just make out already, you two.
それはこっちのセリ
I
フ
could
だ
say the
って
same of you. The two of them turned to each other with a nod, both seeming to suppress a smile. Then, as if sensing each other's thoughts, the two strode forth from the cell together.
おい、明智。
Now,
お前、
what are you intending to do about a weapon, Akechi?
俺は
There was a spare slingshot and the tools I was given earlier, so I'll be fine, but you'll need something too. Don't you have a knife? Akechi surveyed the environs carefully, scanning the room until his gaze landed on something propped up in the corner.
明智。
Wait, you can't seriously be...
お借りします。
Yes, this should do nicely.
それ
But that's for boats... A lure?
言っておきますが、似合わ
Or
な
no,
い
not a
と
lure,
いう
but
言
what's the
葉は受
word?
け付けませんよ。
A boat, the little, a paddle. I'm primarily interested in its effectiveness, less so whether it looks strange in my hands. Akechi with the yaoi paddle.
小林、今度は僕が敵
And
の注
this
意を
time,
引きつけます。
Kobayashi, I will work to get their attention.
彼女を頼む。
So, take care of her for me.
了解。
Got it! Their paths diverged there. Akechi to subdue Porlock and his henchmen, and Kobayashi to save Emily and the children. Yeah, good luck subduing the henchmen with a paddle. Akechi, you're gonna need it. No sooner had they split than Akechi came upon several guards, whom he began to dispatch one by one, the second they entered his line of sight.
くそ、一体どうやって
Damn
あ
it!
の檻を。
How'd you get out?
早く捕まえろ。
I hate
相手の
you,
武器はただ
Elliot.
の終わりだぞ。
Why? Hurry and catch him. He's only got an oar, for God's sake. My mind went to doing something else to the henchman.
ですが、デハルさん、あのガキ、動きが早すぎてつ
I'm
いて
gonna
いけな。
spank him. But Dehar, he's too fast. We can't keep up with him.
戦う気がないのなら、引いてください。
If you're not interested in fighting me, please stand aside.
道の邪魔です。
You're in my way. Drawn by the commotion, more of Porlock's men began to appear on the scene, but none proved agile enough to match Akechi's speed and ferocity, and one after another they fell before him, That would make the Akechi route the NTR route, so... How would that make his route the NTR route? Wait, what are you thinking of? I was thinking just spanking. God damn you. The last left standing, surrounded by his fallen compatriots, Dehai began to back away. I am also thinking spanking. Then, it seems I've no choice. He slid his hand into his jacket. I'm sorry, but... Before he was able to move, Akechi brought the oar hard into his stomach, knocking the wind from him. You'll be showing me the way. Dahar's arm in a vice-like grip, Akechi finally ascended to the ship's deck.
やれやれ。波が収まって、ようやく雲間から月が顔を出したっていうのに。ずいぶん騒がしいね、侍君。
Dear me, the sea finally tires of its restlessness. The moon peeks out from beyond the clouds at last, and you decide to launch a one-man mutiny, Samurai-kun.
日本には月をめでる習慣ってのがないのかい?
Have the Japanese no love for the moon?
もちろんあります。
Don't be daft. Of course we do. He's just gotta take every chance he can to be racist, huh? A swift, well-placed strike from Akechi's oar, from Akechi's oar, sent Dehar sprawling to the ground unconscious. Porlock looked on with what seemed to be a sense of great amusement, a glass of port wine cradled between his fingers.
月光は闇夜を導く神聖な光です。
Have the Japanese no love for the moon? What are you waiting for? Is someone to say the moon is beautiful to the moon? That's my girlfriend. My girlfriend's the moon. The light of the moon is sacred, a mirror that illuminates the night's darkness. From the earliest recorded eras, it has inspired the stories, songs, and tanka poetry of my people.
中秋の名月には船の上から水面に浮かぶ月と空に浮かぶ月、その両方を楽しみ、十五夜をめでます。
Some even enjoy mid-autumn's harvest moon from their boats, allowing them to take in not just the moon hanging in the air, but reflected in the water below.
へえ、それは贅沢な楽しみ方だね。
That sounds like quite the luxurious outing.
それなら。
Anyhow. Porlock drained the rest of his glass in a single gulp, and with a sweep of his hand, threw the glass out into the black expanse of the ocean. Bro, don't throw glass into the ocean!
どうだろう、侍君。ちょうど退屈していたところなんだ。僕を楽しませてくれないか?
How about we have ourselves a little fun, Samurai-kun? Truth be told, I was beginning to grow rather bored.
ただし、心臓を串刺しにされても文句は言わないでくれよ。僕、こう見えて遊びは全力で楽しむタイプなんだ。
Just remember, no hard feelings if I end up skewering you through the heart, though. I take my play no less seriously than my work. Porlock took hold of his saber, propped up against the railing. With an almost childlike smile, he brandished the weapon, pointing its tip straight towards Akechi's heart.
お受けしますよ。
Accept your challenge.
僕も真剣勝負には全力で挑むたちです。
I too believe it folly to hold back when the gravity of the battle demands otherwise. Akechi raised his makeshift weapon at Porlock.
真剣勝
The
負。
gravity, huh? A bit hard to take you seriously swinging that oar around, though. What do you intend to do? Club me to death? Yes!
あなたのような子供じみ
This
た
is more than enough to lay out a callow cur like you.
強がりはやめておいた方が。
Quite the boast. I wouldn't recommend it were I in your shoes. It'll be that much more difficult to make excuses when you find yourself on the back foot.
ああ、強がりといえば、侍君にも見せてあげたかったな。あのお嬢様が強がってるところ。
You're not the only captive of mine determined to put on a strong front, though. I wish you could have seen that young lady earlier, trying her hardest to act tough. At Porlock's provocations, Akechi remained silent, clenching his oar all the more tightly.
君たちをかばって必死に強がってたくせに君の刀を捨てようとした途端にバカみたいに慌ててさ
Such a performance she gave, trying to pretend as though she knew nothing of you and your friend. But the second I made as though I was planning to throw that sword of yours away, what a panic she raised.
ああいう可愛くていじめがいのある女っていいよね飼い殺してやりたくな
Bruh. Sweet-hearted girls are such fun to tease. Simply the best, don't you think? Almost makes one wish to keep them around like a pet.
黙れ
Silence.
それ以上彼女を愚弄するな
I'll not stand here listening to your mockery a moment more. Ooh. Nice CG. Spurred to action, Akechi took the initiative. With incredible speed, he stepped forward, swinging his oar upward at Porlock's throat. Without the time to evade, Porlock had no choice but to block the strike with his saber. The curved blade bit into the handle of the wooden oar, remaining lodged there momentarily. London Detective Mysteria Anime 1.
へえ侍くんは東洋人のくせに西洋人の女に気があるんだ異国の地で優しくされて
Oh my god, shut the fuck up, Porlock. So, you ended up enchanted by a Western girl, did you? Were you that desperate for even a little drop of kindness in a foreign land?
でもそう向きにならない方がいい見苦しい男は古今東西女には好かれないよ
You ought not work yourself into a frenzy, though. No woman of any race would ever fall for a man who makes a fool of himself, and none ever will. The girls are fighting. Kick his ass. Stop typing, twite.
あなたに助言を受ける筋合いはありません
I don't need advice from you.
その場の情にほだされるなんて君もつまらない男だ
Me AF. How perfectly mundane. I'd hoped you a more interesting man than the sort who would be ruled by fleeting passions.
ああついでに今のうちに聞きたいんだけど
Alright, you can type
僕の仲間
again.
になる気はもうないと見ていいのかな
But before we continue, am I correct in assuming you no longer have any intention of accepting my offer to join me?
最初からそのつもりです
I never had any intention of doing so from the beginning.
それならよかった何の憂いもなく君を串刺しにできる
Well and good then. That means I can run you through with nary a regret. The edge of Porlock's saber shaved away at Akechi's oar, flitting closer with each pass. Akechi stepped back, widening the distance between them.
その武器じゃ君は僕に致命傷すら与えられなさそうだね
With a weapon like that, I can't imagine how you'll be able to deal me a fatal blow.
残念だな真剣を手にした君はもっともっと動きが冴えていたんだろう
Such a shame. I'm sure you would have been a far more formidable opponent if you had your own blade.
そういうのを東洋ではただの杞憂というんです
I assure you, your concerns are entirely without merit.
そうか
Oh, then maybe I
じゃあ、
needn't
手加減なんかする
hold
必要
back
もない。
against you after all. With every attack and defense, with each strike and parry, Porlock's blade chipped away at his oar, reducing its reach little by little with every pass.
どうしたそんな武器じゃ
What's this
僕には
now?
届
Your
かないよ
weapon's looking a mite on the shoulder side. Do you really think you can reach me like that? Damn. Finally accepting that his weapon had been whittled away to near uselessness, Akechi threw the hacked wooden haft away.
へえ
And now you
侍君
relinquish your own
武
only
器と一緒に
weapon.
勝負と命
Surely you must have thrown away this battle with it. And your life as well.
あいにくですが
Unfortunately for you,
僕は
I've
どんな
never once thrown a battle.
勝
I have
負
no
と自分
intention
の
of
命を
laying
投
down
げ出
my
したこと
life
があ
here.
りません無手の試合は
However, I've not engaged in unarmed combat since I was instructed in it by my master, before I was banished. No matter. As unseemly as it is to say to an unarmed man, I haven't felt such vigor in ages. I must insist you keep me company for a little longer, until your death at the least. It's kinda gay. I'm glad to have refused that wine. The reek of that drug isn't one I think I shall ever forget. Akechi frowned at the scent of crystal that hung in the salty air. It's been far too long since my whole body shivered with excitement like this. Fighting a battle to the death is so much more stimulating than simply playing spectator to one. Bro, calm the fuck down, dude. There's amusement in making my pawns run hither and thither, doing my work for me, but there are still thrills to be had taking the field myself too. This dude's a freak. A look of overwhelming bliss sprawled across his features. Porlock stabbed his blade towards Akechi once more. Thank you for the hydrate. What did I do? Let me stretch. Oh god. There we go. Oh my goodness. You ever stretch so hard you black out? I know you was typing. The offensive stances of Western styles are quite difficult to read. I want to be able to fight unarmed with the skill Holmes has exhibited, but... Akechi focused the whole of his attention on the trajectory of the saber as it lanced towards him. Oh, is he gonna take his sword? What's going on out there? Seems to have gotten much noisier all of a sudden. Just as I grabbed the iron bars and pulled myself to my feet. Damn kid, do you really think you can beat me with those stupid toys? Ayo, taking his sword? You're having a sword match. Why is this not voiced? Don't you dare make fun of my partners. They've seen me through thick and thin. I saw the guard nearest my cage let out a scream and fall to the ground. No sooner had he hit the floor than I saw a blessedly familiar face. I got an outfit in Shinobi Strikers that looks almost the same as your space outfit on your VTuber avatar. Oh wait, really? Ooh. Let me take a look. Oh wow. Yeah, it does. Looks very similar. Ooh, that's cool. It's got a dye it purple and then bada bing bada boom. Emily, I've come to get you out of here.
Kobayashi-kun!
He came running to my cell, slingshot in hand. All right. Thank goodness. Step away from the door a moment, would you? I'll have you out in 2 shakes. Kobayashi plucked a utility knife from his kit, jamming it into the keyhole and giving it a twist. Moments later, the door swung open and I was free. That's how it's done. Now to spring the kids from their... Huh? Emily? As Kobayashi talked, I had bounded from my cell, scurrying to pick up Akechi's katana from where it lay on the floor. Although it's not my first time handling the Eastern Blade, my worry for its owner seemed to imbue the weapon with a greater weight, just as before. But Kobayashi, Emily's so comfy in there, right? She said that she was comfy in there. Let her stay in there. Is that Akechi's katana?
Kobayashi-kun!
Kobayashi, where's Akechi? He's alright, or at least, he was when we split up. He went to deal with Porlock's minions, and then the man himself. I need to get this to him. Before I had even realized, I was dashing towards the door. Girl! Stop, Emily! If you go where they're fighting now... I'm sorry, Kobayashi. I shook off his petitions and flew from the room into the corridor beyond. I'm sorry, Kobayashi, but I must get Akechi's katana to him without delay. I know he'll have need of it. You're gonna wind up being taken by Porlock to be like a hostage for him. I'm calling it right now. I ran and ran as fast as my legs would carry me, past the legions of Porlock's minions, who lay sprawled unconscious on the floor. With each step, I clutched Akechi's katana more tightly in my arms. Finally, I found myself on the ship's deck, and there, before my eyes, the two were locked in combat. Okay, but she'll be a comfy hostage. I guess that's all that really matters, is if she's comfy or not. I'd arrived just in time to see Akechi, covered in cuts, stop Porlock's saber with a bare-handed grasp. Got quite the reserve of stamina, Samurai-kun. It's more likely that your own has been greatly lessened by that drug. Akechi shifted his weight, driving his elbow into the pit of Porlock's stomach. Porlock reeled visibly from the impact, his breaths coming rough and ragged. Akechi, too, stepped back several paces, then fell to his knees. Akechi-san! I shouted as loud as I was able, hoping my voice would reach him. How? Bro, what the fuck? This guy is a freak! Yes, that's it. More, give me more. Fill me with delight. This guy's into some kinky shit. Porlock had staggered to his feet and advanced on Akechi once more, saber in hand. He likes getting paddled. This is what I picture whenever you say stuff like stabbing sexually. Porlock had staggered to his feet and advanced on Akechi once more, saber in hand. Use that yaoi paddle on me once more, Akechi! Oh my god. What a thing to get raided into. Thank you for the raid, Chromatic! Some timing for a raid. Yeah, right now we're in the middle of a battle between Akechi and Porlock, and Akechi's using a paddle, and Porlock just said, more! Hurt me more! What did I walk into? Yeah. What were you playing, or were you doing art? Thank you so much for the raid, Chromatic! Hi everyone coming in from Lyndon's raid. My name is Eliolapi. I am a bunny from outer space. I like playing visual novels, RPG Maker horror games, and JRPGs. Today we are playing London Detective Mysteria, which is a otome game visual novel where you can date various famous, like historical figures / fictional characters. Oh, you're playing IDV. Oh, and Boyhood's End after. I still need to play the Boyhood's End updates. I've been slacking on that. Well, I hope you had fun. Porlock had staggered to his feet and advanced on Akechi once more, saber in hand. I feel you, it be like that sometimes. Emily, my katana. Alright. Please protect him. I threw the katana towards him, sending a heartfelt prayer along with it. Even as it sailed through the air, the tip of Porlock's saber bore down on Akechi, like a savage fang. Akechi's own attention was divided as he split his focus between catching his own weapon and the approach of Porlock's blade. Just as the sheath of Akechi's katana landed with a slap in his palm, Porlock struck with a murderous thrust. Oh, he's thrusting into Akechi. The strikes happened in an instant, too quickly to register at a glance. An unbroken silence reigned for what felt like an eternity. So rapidly was my attention focused on the scene before me that I very nearly forgot to breathe.
Samurai-kun, こういうのなんて言うんだっけ?
What is that Eastern phrase again? The mercies of a samurai. The raiders learning. Oh my god. Raiders learning Elio's true nature. Yeah, well, you've seen me at my worst already, Raiders. I'm familiar with the phrase, but that is not that. But this is not that. I will not kill, nor will I harm any more than I must. That is my way. The spine of the blade in Akechi's hand glimmered aloft, touched by the rays of the moon. Oh, speaking of, since Lyndon was playing IDV, the artist for this game apparently does a bunch of Identity V yaoi art. That lesser light shone brilliantly against the dark of the sea and sky, illuminating the graceful curve of Akechi's blade. At my worst, right, I totally believe you. You would never say anything worse than that. Please do not bring up the receipts. Also, to be clear, I am no warrior, nor samurai. I am simply a Japanese detective. Mercies of a detective, then. That doesn't sound right. This is like 2 series of clips of you being down bad. Can't say I get any of that rubbish at all. Compassion, kindness, mercy. I don't understand them at all. I don't understand a word of it. Sir Detective. I mean, it's Lin. This is nothing new to him either. True. Lin and I frequently talk about Vor. After all. His saber clattered to the deck, and Porlock's body followed thereafter. And they aren't things one can easily grasp. And wanting Nalia to pee on him. No, that's just me. That's just me. However, if you should ever happen to meet one whose happiness you wish to safeguard, even if in doing so you would stand against the sea of troubles, you might come to understand. Oh, wait, or are you saying that's another bad thing I've done that's worse than what I said? With those words, Akechi paused, sheathing his katana. Yes, Elio. Yes, it is. I thought you were supposed to be in Kobayashi's care. I'm so sorry. He did try to prevent me from coming here. So please, don't be upset with him. So you wouldn't even heed his attempts to stop you? Honestly, you really are hopeless. And yet, thanks to that, Lin isn't into Desu, but they both sure like to make piss jokes. Akechi began walking towards me, a resigned smile upon his face. But just as he finished speaking, the sound of a gunshot rang out, shattering the quiet that had settled upon the deck, and he winced, grabbing his right shoulder. Elio, I don't actually like Vor, I'm just memeing. Also, Elio, I've had many conversations about Vor with Lin. Press exit out. Yeah, because we like making Vor jokes. We're just memeing. We're just memers. Jokes. Oh no, was he just shot? Well done, Akechi. Well done. What's with Akechis and getting shot? Dahar slowly picked himself up from the ground, clutching the back of his head. In his other hand, he held a gun, pointed directly at Akechi. As soon as I saw it, I immediately leapt between the two of them. What? Emily.
ポーロックが倒れた今、この船も全権ももたらされる利益はすべて私のものだ。
With Porlock out of the way, control of the ship and all the profits it is bound to bring belongs to me.
しかし明智君。
But I'm impressed you were able to evade that shot, Akechi. Especially when I had taken perfect aim at your heart. You were waiting him to lower his guard just to shoot him? It's jokes for Lynn at least. It's jokes for me too! I'm going to relish paying you back for my earlier disgrace. First I'll shoot your hands, then your feet, till you can neither move nor defend. Not defending Elio. Oh, hey! Now, get out of the way, girl. Unless you wish a bullet in your chest as well.
彼の狙いは僕です。あなたは離れて。
His grudge is with me, not you, Emily. Stay away.
そんなことできないわ。
Do that. If I moved, I would expose the worn down Akechi to the muzzle of Dehar's gun. Yeah, where's Pendleton? Pendleton's gonna jump in, right? Or Kobayashi, one of the two. My heart raced, my legs shook. It took all that I could muster to stand steadfast, but I was determined not to yield even an inch.
頼むから、僕の言うことを聞いてくれ。
Please, just do as I tell you.
明智さんを見捨てるなんてできるはずないわ。
I couldn't possibly abandon you. Not now. If that's what you would have of me, I refuse.
どっちもうるさいな。
Dehar, you realize how weird you were being. Stop with your poorly disguised kink. Kobayashi, probably. I'm tired of this. If you won't move, then I'll have to shoot the both of you. As if preparing for what might come next, I closed my eyes. What? I heard a single gunshot, and Dehar crying out in surprise. Let's go! Pendleton pulling in with the Glock! As I opened my eyes again, I saw the gun fall from his hand to the deck. Kobayashi gun.
そんな、一体誰が、どこから？
How? Who else is here? Where are you?
じっとして。
Emily, stay still. Tension filled his voice. As he spoke, the katana once more flashed from its sheath, cleaving an arc through the air. Akechi's blade smote Dehar's chest, sending the man reeling backward and tumbling to the ground. Yeah, I feel like it was probably Pendleton. We still haven't seen Pendleton. I think he's trying to keep it a secret that he's here, but obviously he's not gonna let Emily get killed. I'm sticking to the Kobayashi gun theory. And there was Akechi, sword firmly in hand, standing by my side, defending me from harm.
明智さん。
Yeah, I feel like Kobayashi would have spoken up by now, right? As he fell to his knees, I hastened to support him.
怪我してませんか？
Are you hurt, Emily? I took a bathroom break and suddenly I see Vor. Y'all were enjoying Vor without me? Yeah, we were. I'm sorry, Lyndon. Here, we can make some more room for some more Vor jokes with you. But we need Kobayashi gun to go with Kobayashi fist. Yeah, give Kobayashi a Glock. He deserves it. And though his body was covered in cuts from Porlock's saber, as though he had taken a bullet to the shoulder, he seemed concerned only for my welfare. It's all good, no worries. I don't hear the J in Elio's voice. Oi! Wait, no. He doesn't need a Glock. He already has these guns. Boom, boom, boom! Yeah, it's Pendleton. It's because Kobayashi doesn't need a weak thing like a gun. He can just punch the shit out of him. Oda, 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 oda! brother's injuries, and yet he thinks first of me.
すみません。先ほどの銃弾をちゃんと避けられていれば、あなたをあんな目に遭わせず。
I'm sorry. Had I managed to fully dodge that first bullet, you would not have had to endure such an experience.
Akechi-san!
What? Wow! Akechi's getting so many CGs. I felt uneasy still, scared even. At the same time, I felt an overwhelming gladness and relief. Such conflicting feelings whirled and clashed in my mind that I could scarcely speak. Unable to restrain myself, I threw my arms around him, pulling him close. Garfield, are you Jay or Sears? I'm so Sears right now.
よかった。明智さんが無事で。
I'm so glad you're alright.
また会えて。
I guess I fell asleep on a raid train. How's it going? Oh, hey there, Wyvern! Welcome. It's going good. So glad to see you again. Touch you again. Feel your warmth again. That's lewd.
僕はこうしてあな
Koba,
たに支え
koba,
られて
koba,
ば
koba,
かり
koba, 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 koba. Kobayashi, cough. Way more CGs than Marple. Yeah, Marple only got one CG. Give my girl some justice. We need to march up to Kadin Entertainment and tell them to expand her route for real. Without a doubt, I'm ever the beneficiary of your support.
あなたには一番見せたくないはずなのに、見苦しい姿を見せてばかりです。
You're the one I would least have see me like this, and yet you seem the one to witness it more than any other.
女性にかばわれるなんて生まれて初めてでしたし。
Yeah, let's just hug in front of a guy with a gun and a guy with a sword that's passed out. I'm sure they won't wake up and try and kill us. I was certainly not expecting you to interpose yourself between Dehar and I as you did. No woman has ever gone so far for my sake.
無茶なことをして。
Conveniently admits he has never spoken to any other woman. I apologize. I know it was a great risk.
全くですね。
What is this?
あなたは本当に。
Koba, 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 koba. Kobayashi! That's my dude! It really was. You never failed to do the unexpected. Oh, look at that. His voice was kind. I could feel his touch, soft and gentle, as he caressed my head.
本当に危なっかしくて目を離せません。
Your heart sits upon that fine line between bravery and recklessness. Honestly, I can scarcely take my eyes off you for a minute.
あなたのことを考えていたら自然と海の上にここに来ることになっていました。
Just knowing that you might be in danger was enough to send me chasing after you, going so far as to board the ship as though it was the most natural thing in the world. I caused him no end of trouble and considerable worry for my safety. And yet, even then, he held me close so gently. I could scarcely understand why. In this way of such emotion, my own thoughts were slow in forming.
それに
Okay, but I'm wondering, Kobayashi is a platonic route. So, are you close to Akechi or not? I don't know. Maybe in that route we're just dating Akechi, so that's why we can't date Kobayashi or something. I don't know. For reasons I myself don't fully comprehend.
あなたの前だとうまく振る舞えないことが多いのに。
Kobayashi just has higher standards in women than Akechi. Even though matters have a way of not going as I wish they would when you're around, I've come to find that I don't actually mind it.
あなたならこんな僕でも見放さずにいてくれる。そう思えるから。
I suppose it's because I've come to realize that You won't turn your back on me, even after seeing me like this.
見放すだなんてそんな風に思うわけないわ。
Don't be foolish. I could never turn my back on you. Having said that, I found myself unable to say any more. But although my words had ceased, my arms encircling him had lost none of the vigor of their embrace. Kobayashi's standards are higher than Emily. This kidnapping is getting comfy now, lightly. he has a modicum of standards. Akechi has no standards. Oh! We're on the last chapter now. Again with the modicum. Modicum. Is it modicum?
海の上、月の下で。
On the ocean, under the moon. Closer. Modicum. Modicum? Modicum. Okay, I guess we will keep your eyes on the Discord soon. Because since this is the last chapter, we will be moving on to a new route soon. A lone carriage sailed through the fog-covered back streets of London, its four wheels clattering over the cobblestones. There, that's the one. Modicum. At last, it came to a stop in one nondescript deserted alleyway.
では報告を。モラン大佐。
Your report, Colonel Morin. The carriage's window opened without a sound, and from within, a quiet voice was audible against the night stillness.
はい。
Yes, sir. Yeah, Morin. Morin's here. The tense voice of a man could be heard in reply, not heart.
ポーロックは手はず通りにドッグランズ港を出港しました。
Porlock's ship has set sail from the port of London
英
as
国植民地
planned.
であるアジア、
Destination
香
is
港
the
への
British
航路を進ん
colony
でい
of
る最
Hong
中で
Kong
す。
in southeastern Asia. Ruh-oh.
薬を保管していた
The
セントスピラ
underground
教会
den
の地下
beneath
は
Saint Spirit Church,
あなた様
where
の
the
指示
drugs
通
were
り
being
焼き
stored,
払い
has
まし
been
た。
burned as you ordered.
我々の形跡を
I
ス
do
コ
not
ットラ
believe
ンド
it
ヤードや
possible that any evidence
あのシャーロック・
remains
ホームズ
that
に
would
感づ
lead
かれることはまず
Scotland
ないか
Yard or Sherlock Holmes to suspect our involvement. I thought the villains would have the same leader, but I didn't think they would directly interact. Yeah.
ご苦労だった。
Well done.
しかしよろしいのです
Still,
か。
was it wise to
あの
send
ポーロッ
Porlock
クを放っておい
unaccompanied?
て。彼には組織の一員である自覚が足りませ
He's
ん。
not shown himself to possess the
あの
sense
よ
of
うなものに仕
responsibility
事を
for
一
his
任するなど。
actions that one within our organization ought. To give him a task of this import to handle on his own.
ポーロックは
I
昔から変
understand
わ
your
った男だ
concern.
った。
Porlock has ever been a
イース
strange
トエンドの
one.
貧民
All I
街の
know
生
of
まれ
him
で
is
な。
that he was born in the East
それ以
End.
外は
Even to
拾
I,
って
who
やった
took him
私に
in,
も教えようと
took
は
him
しない。
in, is never disclosed more than that.
与えられる善意や
He
行為に
resents the
嫌悪の目を
kindness and
向け、
goodwill of his fellow
いつ
man,
も人を品定
preferring
め
to
し
make
てい
his
たな。
judgments based on
自
whether a
分にとっ
person
て
will be
利
of
用
any
価
use
値
to
がある
them.
のかと。裏切り者に容赦
Unlike
のな
my
い我
loyal
が忠
right
実
hand
な
man,
右
who
腕
is
と
wholly
違って、
without mercy towards
彼は
traitors.
人に
He
心のあ
cares
りよう
not
な
what
ど求
abides
め
in
な
the
い。
heart of others.
求め
It
る
is
のは
only
能力
ability
だけだ。
he seeks.
彼の分かりやすい
His
考
way
え
of
方
thinking
が
is
気に入った。
uncomplicated. That's what I like about him. Well, he got fucked up. Too bad.
ですが、
Even
好
so,
き勝手に動
if
き
you
回られ
continue
て
to
は
allow him to
いつ
so
あな
long
た
a
様にい
leash,
らぬ手間を
there's
か
no
けるかわ
telling
かり
when
ま
you
せ
will
ん。
find yourself entangled in it. Looks like you're getting entangled.
この私がポーロックに足元
You
を救
honestly
われる
think I
と
would
でも。
allow him to work ill against me?
彼の行動が
I believe there's a strong
我々に
likelihood
損
that
害
his
をもたらす
actions
可能
could
性
bring
は十
harm
分にあり
upon
ます
this。organization.
モラン大佐、
There
案
is
じる
no
必
need
要
to
は何
worry,
もない。
Colonel Morin.
ポーロックが命令通りに動かなかっ
Even
た
if
と
he
ころで、
fails to do as I have
我
ordered,
々の力
our
が
powers shall not
衰える
diminish
こと
in
はな
any
い。
way. There are plenty of
代わりなどいくらでも
replacements
い
for
る。
even a man of his talents. Oops.
社会につまはじき
As
にさ
long
れ
as
た者が
society continues to shun
弱者が
those on
生
the
み出され
periphery
る
of
限り、
society, and those
我
weak
々
and
が
without
人手
hope
不
are
足に
born
陥
each
る
day,
ことなど
we shall never want
ありえな
for
いのだからな。
manpower. Not long after, the carriage began to move once again, disappearing into the same blanketing fog from whence it had come. When things had at last become calm, Kobayashi and I left the children in Akechi's care and set about searching the ship from top to bottom.
二人とも
Well,
様子は
did you find
どうでしたか
anyone else?
隅から隅
No
まで
such
探した
luck.
けど
We searched every nook and cranny
誰
too.
も見つからなかったよ。
Yeah, I think it was Pendleton that helped.
あの時デハルさんの拳銃を撃ったの
We're
は
still none the wiser as to who shot Dehar's gun from his hand.
のかしら。
He does have a gun. We have established that. Looks at Kobayashi and looks at Akechi. Alright, well, we've explored fully. I found myself thinking back to my early exchange with the ship's captain.
ポーロック様がやられたんじゃ。あんたたちに逆らえる道理もない。
Now that Master Porlock's been bested, I have no reason not to work with you.
燃料が足りなくて引き返せないが、中継地点の港まであんたたちをちゃんと運ぶ。
Oh, we don't have enough fuel to turn back, but I can drop you off at the next port on the way to Hong Kong. What do you mean?
だから、これ以上何も聞かないでくれ。
So please, I beg you, ask nothing more of me.
確かに
If this guy is still calling him Master Porlock when he is dead, he is not cooperating. Yeah, he's leading us into a den, isn't he? Porlock, Dehar, and other subordinates had rounded up and locked away below deck.
だけど
But even so,
彼の
the man still sounded as though he feared for his life.
何かにとても怯えていたような。それに明智さんと小林くんを檻から助けた人物もわからないままだわ。
Not to mention, we still have no clue as to who helped spring Akechi and Kobayashi from their cell either. I looked up from my thoughts to see Akechi walking away, hand pressed firmly to his shoulder.
あの
I still think it was someone else. It makes zero sense for it to be Pendleton. I don't know. I have a feeling like Pendleton might have some complicated stuff going on with him, maybe. And that's why he couldn't, like, help them, but still wanted to help them. Unless there's some really good reason after the fact as to why he would fuck around. Akechi, are you going somewhere?
いえ
I trust
二人が
Pendleton.
戻ってきたのでこの場を任せて僕は傷の
He has not demonstrated the capacity to fuck around yet. Maybe he's got a reason. Well, now that the two of you have returned, I expected I could leave matters here in your hands for the moment as I go tend to my wounds.
それならお手
Are
伝い
you
する。
talking about me? I'd be happy to come help you address your injuries.
ですがあなたの手を煩わせるわけには
I couldn't possibly trouble you with that.
そんなこと気にしないで。
Please,
私は
you needn't worry about
明
that.
智さんの役に
I'm offering because I want to help you. I gently took his hand in mine.
行きましょう。明智さん。
Come, Akechi. He turned his face away from mine, obviously embarrassed, but even as he did so, his grip on my hand tightened. Wow, they've come a long way. I like the start of his route. Like, just touching her hand made him, like, panic. But now he's, like, clamping on her hand.
俺はここで子供たちのことを見てるからさ。レディ、よろしく頼むよ。
I'll keep an eye on the children here. So go on and patch him up, Emily. After Kobayashi saw the two of us off, we made our way inside one of the ship's cabins.
さあ、明智さん。
Oh my god.
脱いで。
Alright, let's get your shirt off then. Pendleton could shoot Emily's spleen and I'd still trust him, to be honest. You know what? I think he deserves to be able to shoot her in the spleen. Just a little bit, you know? As a little treat.
いやミス・ホワイトリーやはりここは自分で
Miss Whiteley, I really don't think Are we gonna get a shirtless Akechi CG? We've been getting fed so many CGs.
それはダメよ。明智さんに無理はさせられないわ。
I must insist. Doing this alone is just more strain, and that's the last thing you need right now.
他人の傷口なんて目にして気持ちのいいものではないでしょう。
Seeing the wounds of others cannot make for a very appealing sight, though.
そんなこと私は気にしないわ。
Well, it doesn't bother me.
ですが
But in the end, despite his protest, he cannot deter me from my task. Then suddenly, a realization struck me.
明智さん、私の呼び方。
Akechi, you've gone back to calling me Miss Whiteley again. He'd finally begun calling me by my given name, but for reasons unknown, he had reverted back to the stodgy Miss Whiteley, as though we hardly knew one another.
さっきはつい勢いで。すみません。
My apologies for earlier. It was a momentary lapse in judgment. Mm-hmm.
私は嬉しかったのに。
But hearing you say it made me very glad.
そんな寂しげな顔をしないでください。ここで簡単に折れたら僕は意志薄弱な人間です。
What? Come, don't give me that forlorn look. If I crumbled beneath that light pressure, I'd be possessed of a weak will indeed. Immediately crumbles under the pressure.
私はそうは思わない
I
わ。
respectfully disagree, but please continue.
だからさあ、
I kind of really like their back and forth a lot.
笑顔でそんなことを言われても。
Seeing you sit there with a smile is just making it harder too. You seemed at first troubled, but I persisted.
私も
I would like to call you by your
明智さん
given
のこ
name
と
as
を名
well.
前で呼びたいの。
So, I want you to do the same for me.
明智さん、
仕方ありません。
Very well, then,
その
Emily.
嬉しいわ。
Thank you, Ken-chan.
ケンちゃん。
Of all the things to remember, that
まだ覚えていたん
silly
ですか？
old
そんな
nickname.
呼び方。
Pendleton could shoot me and I'd trust him. He has a good reason for it. I'd just thank him.
そんな呼び方だなん
I
て。
don't think it's silly at all. It's rather endearing, in fact.
可愛らしい呼び方だと思うけれど。
誰が
Of
ケン
course
ちゃん
I
ですか？
don't.
その
If you're determined to use something other than my first
普通の
name,
名前でお願
I'd
いします
rather you use my proper given name. Splendid. So, Kenichiro then.
健一郎さん。
As I sounded out the name, he quickly turned his back to me.
どう
Oh,
し
what's
たの？
wrong?
すみませんが。
I apologize, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to insist that you continue calling me Akechi after all. Wait,
でも
but why? I got too horny, Emily!
お願いします。
Please,
今の僕で
understand.
は
It seems I require more
まだチャンネル
training
が
before I'm ready to hear you call me in such a familiar way. Listening to him plead, I couldn't very well refuse him. I nodded.
でも
Still, with how he phrased it, it sounds as though he may eventually be open to me calling him Kenichiro.
健一郎さんと呼んでもいいってことよね。
あの
So, would you be willing to give me a hand with this, Emily? He still seemed somewhat awkward, calling me by my given name, but at least he was trying, and that filled me with gladness. Of course! Akechi's form was surprisingly slender, compared to that of most men. Still, most likely as a result of his martial training, his muscles were clearly defined, with not an inch of loose skin or fat to be seen on him.
こういうの
I guess this is what one might describe as a
しなや
life
かな
form.
体。
Life? The greatest amount of a man's bare skin I had seen up until then was exposed arms when they had rolled up their sleeves. Train this. Emily just explodes. Hey there, Phoenix! Welcome, welcome! You get home from work? Welcome! Perhaps it was for that reason that I couldn't help but be enamored at the sight of Akechi's, sans his usual shirt and jacket. Why are you bonking me?
どうかしたんですか？やっぱり
Let's
気分が
go,
悪くなった。
shirtless Akechi! Woo! Is something wrong? Are you revulsed to see such an unpleasant bloody sight?
違うわ。そうじゃないの。ちょっと見とれてしまって。
Not at all. I just found myself captivated. LMAO, it came up vertically. I wasn't expecting it.
一体何に？
My what?
なんでもないの。
Nothing? Oh, you got back from grocery shopping. Don't got work for another 8 hours. Oh, nice. You get anything good to eat?
恥ずかしくて
Many sleeps
食
today.
事できない。
Hopefully you get a nice little nap then. I felt such a burning embarrassment. I cannot bring myself to meet his
だ
gaze.
ってしなきゃ。
Still, I was here to help tend his wounds.
明智さん、
If at any time it hurts, just say so, alright?
我慢しないで言ってね。
大丈夫です。
I'll be fine.
この手の痛み
The
には
pain
慣
of
れ
a
ていま
cut
す。
is known to all who take up the blade.
慣れているとかじゃな
That's
くて。
beside the point. Ooh, dino nugs. I'm feeling adventurous. Yo, let's go!
私だって。で
I
き
should
るだ
get
け
some dinosaur
明智
nuggies
さんには
too.
優しくしてあげたいし。
I'm like down to just noodles now. After, so I need to buy another weekly supply of food. Let's be as gentle as I can with you. To soothe you, not hurt you. Maybe I'll buy some dino nugs too.
明智さん、
Akechi,
どう
what
した
is
の？
it?
もしか
Did
して
that hurt?
今の痛かった？
そうじゃ。
No,
Are
that's
you-
not it. I'm too horny, Emily.
でも
It's just... His sudden reticence had aroused in me a strange nervousness.
あなたから
I'm not certain
So
how
you
to respond to
cannot be
such
kawaii
tender,
kotobaを言われた時、
magnanimous care.
何と返したらいいのかわからないだけです。
What?
やっぱり僕は
It lays in stark relief how
英国紳士にはなれそうに
ill-suited I
なりません
am
ね。
to play the role of an English gentleman.
女性であるあなた
Not
に
only have you seen me at
こん
my
な見
most
苦しい姿を
unsightly,
見せて
I've ended up in your care when the
Escort
duty
する
was
どころか、
mine to take your hand,
逆に
lead
あな
and
たに
guide
手を
you.
引かれる始末です。感謝や謝罪の気持ちを
Even
抱い
as I
ても
feel both
それをちゃんと
contrition,
伝えられなくて
contrition? I
あ
think
な
it's
たを
contrition,
不安にさせてしま
and
う。
gratefulness towards you.
あな
I
たの
found
笑
myself
顔を
unable
曇ら
to
せて
give
しまう。
proper voice to those feelings. And, in so doing, I put you ill at ease, your smile clouded over.
そんなこと。
That's not... You're looking for rice milk to make horchata, but didn't see any? This oat milk might be close though. Ooh. Hopefully it turns out nice then.
すみません。
I don't think I've ever had oat milk.
あなたを困
Or
らせたく
rice
はないの
milk
に
either.
いつも言葉が
I'm
足りなく
sorry.
て
I truly am a
力
pitiful
が
man.
足りなくて
I'd hoped never to cause you trouble. And yet my words and my strength always come up wanting.
明智さん、
Is that what you think? He hung his head, words filled with such a defeated sadness that, before I knew it, I had embraced him from behind.
あの
Emily,
何を
what are you... He shifted uncomfortably, but I was not about to let him wallow in his sorrows alone.
お願い。怖がら
This
ない。
looks so lewd! Please, there's no need to feel so troubled. I tightened my arms around him, taking care not to put pressure on his wounds.
明智さんは情けなくなんかないわ。
I don't think you're pitiful for one.
だけど自分の足りないところばっかり目を向けて自分を責める明智さんはとても寂しそうだわ。
But you spend so much time contemplating what you lack, and you criticize your own self so much more harshly than any other. To my eyes, you often look lonely.
寂しい
Lonely. I'm lightly lactose intolerant, so regular milk is a bit of a
溺れ
gamble.
るのを
Oat milk seems to be nice to me. Also, I like the taste, huh? I'll have to try that out sometime then. Yes, you seem possessed of a fear that others will hate you.
私はたくさん明智さんに助けてもらったのに、お返しに助けることもできない。
This looks way too lewd. It looks like she's jacking him off. You have helped me on so many occasions, even going so far as to save me from harm, and yet there's been nothing I might do to return those favors, except for jack you off, of course.
どんな姿だって一生懸命な明智さんは変わらない。
How kind of Emily.
嫌いになんてなれるはずない。
No matter how you may look, unsightly or dapper, in my heart, you shall ever be the same hard-working, dedicated, and kind-hearted Akechi I've always known. Could never even think to hate you.
ありがとうでも足りなくて、嬉しいでも全然足りなくて。
Merely expressing my thanks doesn't convey the fullness of my feelings. And simply saying that your company brings me happiness seems woefully insufficient. Try as I might, I couldn't help but feel that, in spite of any words of encouragement I might offer, I was helpless to ease his pain. It was that thought that frustrated and confounded me more than I could bear. Vain though it may have been, I harbored a small hope that my embrace could in some way help alleviate his suffering, where my words could not.
私も明智さんに安心してほしい。
If she really is jacking him off.
自分のこと情けないなんて。
I want to set you at ease.
ないの。
To assuage your worries. I don't want you to labor under the belief that you are pitiful.
私の大好きな人のことを。
Assuage.
そんな風に責めないで。
After all,
悪く言わ
why
ない
should you speak ill of that very man for whom I have come to care so deeply?
あなたの言葉はすごく心に染みますね。
Your words cut to the very heart of me like no other.
どんな薬よりも励ましよりもずっと心に染みて苦しい。
To hear you speak with such unvarnished care is a salve greater than any medicine, a buoyant encouragement to my heart. Truly, your words cause my heart to ache. These two, I swear to God, they have the most, like, flowery language ever. What? Akechi gently placed his hand atop mine, slowly closing his fingers to envelop it. This scene is so
聞い
lewd!
てください。
Emily, I want you to listen to what I'm about to say. I sat at rapt attention, determined to let not a single word of his pass me by.
僕はずっと
Oh god, he's gonna get interrupted by Kobayashi. I've always...
おい明智
I knew it! I knew it! Hey, Akechi! Emily! Wait, what are you guys doing in here? Where's Emily jacking you off?
取り込み中だったらごめん。でも船長を問い詰めたら
My flower language is dandelions. Ooh, dandelions are delicious. Sorry to barge in unannounced, but I was just speaking with the captain and he told me our next port of call will be in The door flung open, and through it, Kobayashi came bounding. Come on, Kobayashi.
小林くん。
The second I saw Kobayashi, his eyes wide with surprise at the scene upon which he had intruded, I was overcome by a burning sense of embarrassment. This isn't what it looks like, I assure you. I definitely wasn't jacking him off just now. Walks into stream. Are you winning, bun? I am. Completely flustered, I quickly scooted away from Akechi.
私ったら手当ての
Rare Kobayashi L. What am I doing? I'd only meant to tend to his wounds.
あ
It's called second base Kobayashi. Dang.
ごめん俺はこれで
Well, my report isn't anything that can't wait a while. I'll leave you to it then. Just pretend that I'm not here at all. Let me just get into that chair in the corner. Don't worry about me. Continue. Kobayashi did a perfect about face and exited the cabin as fast as his legs could carry him without breaking into a run. Emily. Yes?
手当ての続きお願いします。
Could you please continue dressing my wounds, if you would? Of course. He looks so frightening now. I was about to confess his feelings for you. Emily, please continue.
後で小林と話すべきことが
I can see I'll need to have a good long talk with Kobayashi later. He got in the way of me. Having said that, he carefully adjusted his glasses, then spoke no more. A ship made its way across the Mediterranean through the... I don't know that word. Suez Canal, and began its southward journey across the length of the Red Sea. Before the canal was completed, ships in transit to India or Asia had to round the southern tip of the African continent. However, its opening heralded a new age of travel, cutting a great deal of time from the trip between England and the Orient. Eventually, we crossed into the Arabian Sea and sailed eastward towards the trading hub of Bombay. Suez, I think? Ah, okay.
インドか確かライスカレーの本場だよなロンドンでも
So this is India, the birthplace of curry and rice, isn't it? I saw it all the time back in London.
カリーライスだけじゃないわ
It isn't just curries India is known for. The tea grown here is renowned the world over.
ダージリンティーに
Darjeeling, Assam, and Nilgiri tea, among others, come from the hills of India.
一昔前に存在して
The
いた
former British
イ
East
ギリス
India Company
東インド
used
ネ
to
シ
have a
ア
branch in Japan
日
too,
本の
in
平
the
戸に
city
も
of
召喚を持
Hirado.
っていましたいわば
In a sense,
インドは
India is a vital
エ
nexus
ゲ
of
レスと
trade and
東アジアを
transit.
結ぶ
It
重要な
connects
中継
Ingles
地点
and
という
East
ことでした
Asia.
まずは
At any rate,
ポーロックたち
we
の
need
身
to
柄を引き
deliver
渡しましょう
Porlock and his men to the authorities
檻
here.
の中へ閉じ込
We
めて
may
いる
have
と
them
はい
locked
え
away, but
油断
we
はでき
can't
ません
afford to let our guard down.
そうだな
Right.
昨日も
I caught his subordinates fighting through the bars of their cells yesterday.
船長や船員も
The captain and the ship's crew all seem rather on edge too, though for what reason I don't know.
もしかしたら
With any luck, the police here may be able to uncover some information
引き出せるかもし
about
れ
the
ない
organization Porlock and Dehard belong to. Now safely docked in the port, we went to prepare Porlock and his motley band for their transfer to the Indian authorities. However, we were soon to discover that such a handover would prove impossible.
一体誰が
Who could have done this? We found them dead, to a man still in their cells. Yo?
船員か
They've all been shot with a gun.
銃で撃たれ
The
て
question is, how?
あいつら
We
から
made sure to take all their
武器は
weapons from
普通に
them.
取り上げたはずだぜ
It was Pendleton.
君たちの話だとこの船には彼らに連れ去られた人間が
According
乗
to
せら
your
れていたんですよね
The ship was carrying
So
people
they
who had been
don't have
abducted by these men, correct? And said victims were both drugged and mistreated.
つまり
Which
被害者
means
たち
that
は
the captors
相当
hadn't
恨みを持た
exactly
れていたということになり
endeared
ます
themselves to their captives.
僕が言うことで
Perhaps
は
it's
ない
not
の
my
かもし
place
れ
to
ませんが
say as an officer of the law.
自業自
I
得と
can't
しか
help but
言
think
い
they
ようがあ
got
り
what
ませ
they
んね
deserved in the end. Maybe their heads just exploded.
あのすみません
This may seem a strange question, Inspector, but
前にどこ
have
か
we
で
met somewhere
会ったこ
before?
とがありません
You
か
seem oddly familiar to me somehow,
妙に懐
and
かしい
I
よう
can't
な
quite put my finger
見
on
覚え
it.
があるような
Yeah, this is the most important character
Yeah.
in the entire
お嬢さ
game.
んとは初対面ですよでもよく
No,
人に
I'm
言われ
quite
るんです
certain this meeting is our
初めて会っ
first.
た気が
You'd
し
be
ないって
surprised how often I hear that, though. People telling me I remind them of this or that person. You're not wrong, Emily.
どこかで
He
見たこ
looks
とある
a
よ。
mite familiar to me too.
人間世界の
Well,
どこ
it's
かに
commonly said that
3人は
everyone
自
has
分
at
のそっ
least
くり
3
さんがいる
people
と
in
言い
the
ますから
world who
ね。
resemble them
き
to
っ
a
と海の
remarkable
向こうに
degree.
僕
There
と
must
同
be
じように
several other young
正
men
義
out
感
there
に燃える
burning
若
with
者
the
がいるん
same
でしょ。
justice that goads me daily onward.
うわ、
Good
ます
grief,
ます見
that
覚え
just
が。
doubled the sense of deja vu. What was the guy's name? Was his name just Ryan? Ryus and Ryan?
このボンベイはインドの
The
交易の
city
拠
of
点です。
Bombay is a major trading
不正な
center.
取引を取り
And
締
in
ま
the
るの
city
は
in a
警
city
官で
this
ある僕の
bustling,
義務であり、
bringing the
使命です
hammer
から。
down on illegal business dealings is the prime task of its police force.
最近はこの町でも
I've
出
heard
身
I got a
地不明
couple
の子供が
doppelgangers
不当な
before.
労働をさせられることが大きな問題となっていたんです。
Lately, we've had a rash of children of unknown origin being forced into illegal labor. It's become a vexing problem here in the city.
さらわれた子供たちはここからイギリス行きの船に乗れるように手配しましょう。
But I shall take full responsibility in ensuring you that each and every one of the children aboard your ship are put back on a vessel headed to England.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you ever so much. A short distance away stood Akechi, puzzling through the details of the seemingly impossible murders.
彼らは頭を打ち抜かれて全員即死状態。銃の扱いに長けたものでないと。
It was Pendleton! Each of them died instantly from a single bullet through the head. The killer would have had to possess considerable proficiency with firearms to be capable of such a feat. Yeah, it was Pendleton! I keep telling you it's Pendleton!
小林に七つ道具を渡した者の声。まさかポーロックたちに手を下したのは。
Besides the three of us, Porlock and his men, and the ship's crew, there was the man who returned Kobayashi's tools to him. Could he have been the one to...
明智さん、
I mean, I guess this could be a justifiable level of fucking around. Yeah, he was fucking around killing people. What's the matter, Akechi?
いえ、何でもありません。
Because now this is, like, a full ship wipe, which I don't know if that's what he wants to project. Oh, nothing much. Just mulling over a few loose ends. But in the end, the identity of the assassin remained a mystery, and we handed over the bodies, the ship's crew, and custody of the children to the police in Bombay.
なあ、明智。そういえば、俺すっかり忘れてたことがあるんだけど。
Hey, Akechi. Just recently, I happened to remember something that I wanted to ask you about.
何ですか、小林。
Oh, what might that be?
レディを助けに教会に乗り込む前、学園宛てに日本から手紙が届いてたよな。明智が先生から受け取ってたやつ。
Before we left to rescue Emily from that warren beneath the church, there was a letter that arrived from Japan addressed to the academy. The one Mr. Mackenzie handed you.
確か日本を
Was Emily Jork in it?
何者かに襲われたとかなんとか書いてあったよ。
As I recall, it contained news about an ambassador from a major nation who was attacked while visiting Japan, or something to that effect. Oh, and that's the guy that Kobayashi saved. Or not Kobayashi, Akechi. Blah 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 blah.
もちろん忘れてなんかいませんよ。
I know the one you're referring to. I haven't forgotten about it. Akechi paused a moment before answering.
幸い大使は一命を取り留めましたが、暗殺未遂事件として国内で大きな問題になっているそうです。
Fortunately, the ambassador pulled through, but the attempted assassination of an ambassador is still a significant, not to mention regrettable, incident for our homeland.
外交問題に発展する可能性があるため、慎重に捜査を進めなければならないと。
It carries with it also a real risk of being seen as an international incident, and as such, needs to be investigated with the utmost care.
死人が出なくてよかったけど、やっぱり日本の異国に対する差別は厳しいな。
I'm glad the attempt on the ambassador's life proved unsuccessful, but it really gives a stark impression of how great a distaste may be many of our countrymen have towards foreigners. Emily, I was just helping him polish his sword! Pulls out an odachi.
で、手紙にはまだ続きがあるんだろうな。
And I'm guessing that wasn't all that was written in the letter. What else did it say?
はい。残念ながら警視庁にも愛国心で異国を排除しようとする考えは存在しているようです。
It lays out that the Metropolitan Police Department are no exception to the aforementioned xenophobia, and that they are opposed to foreigners entering the country as well.
公平な捜査を進めるためには、国外で見識を身につけた者の協力が必要だと書かれていました。
The letter stated that, in order for the investigation to be conducted in a fair and impartial manner, the assistance of reliable sources with great insight on the outside world will be required.
僕たちも日本に戻るようにと。
And as such, we have been summoned to return to Japan. Oh no! What about Emily?
やっぱりそういうことかよ。
I had a feeling something like that might happen. I don't think Emily learned her hiragana yet. Kobayashi sighed, knowing that he and Akechi had little say in the matter.
留学中の俺たちを呼び戻すんだから、よっぽど深刻なんだろうな。
Still, the situation must be rather serious for them to call us home before our term of study is over.
でしょうね。今後の日本の外交にも大きく影響するかもしれません。
Yes, it's not difficult to imagine that being the case. This incident may have a profound effect on Japan's growing diplomatic relations with foreign nations.
僕たちは国の支援で留学している身です。
And let you forget, it was national funding that allowed us to travel abroad, to study in England to begin with.
故郷で必要とされているんです。答えないわけにはいきません。
So, if our homeland has need of us, we must answer their call.
明智の師匠もさ、この事件を解決したら、お前のことを見直すかもしれないな。
If we manage to help sort out an international incident, why, even your master might rethink his opinion of you. But what about Emily?
どうでしょうね。
Kanao Gabu. Kanao Gabu. Oh god, what is that? What is that? Kanji? Kanao Gabu. Manabu. Manabu. Kanao Manabu. Junbi? No Japanese equivalent word for buddy, so the meme didn't work. Kano o manabu. Manabu. Junbi o shimashou. Tomoyo. Babu. What is this? Get ready to learn Chinese, buddy. I wouldn't hold my breath on that. Akechi cast his gaze downward, his lack of confidence palpable. Still, if we need to go home, wouldn't it be faster to simply continue on to Japan from here? India is the door to Asia after all, and trading ships from Japan frequently make port here. Need a decky night, Emily. Give up. Maybe that can be our next emote. Give up, Emily.
ええ、そうです。
You have a point.
でも、
But that leaves the matter of Emily. I can only imagine how much she would like to return home.
そうでしょうね。
Greatly, given the ordeal she has been through.
でも、
But you don't wish to be apart from her, even for a brief time, do you?
はい、そうで。
Yes, I must
そういうわ
confess.
けがないでしょ
She's stolen my heart.
一体何を
It's
言
the
わせよ
dramatic
うとしてるんで
response
すか
you're
お前
angling
は。
for, isn't it? Why would I admit such a thing to you?
え？違うのか？
Am I wrong then? Kobayashi's eyes were wide with interest, but the same energy was nowhere to be found in Akechi's reply.
僕たちと違って
Unlike the
彼
two
女
of
はエ
us,
ゲレスで
she
帰
has
りを
many
待つ者
friends
が
and
たくさんいま
relations
す。
in Ingels waiting for a
早
safe
く帰った
return.
方がいいに
Why would
決
she
まってい
not
ます。
hope to be reunited with them as soon as possible? Because she can be with her boyfriend?
でも、それって明智が決めつけてる
Host
だけだ
before
ろ。
bros. But you're just assuming that to be the case, though. Why not simply ask her what she'd like to do? It's not hard to perceive the answer. Even if I were to ask, all I would hear is her desire to return home. It's not wise to assume too much, though. Imagine, if you asked her to accompany you to Japan, she might smile and nod the affirmative. She might even throw her arms around you in a passionate embrace. Why did you suddenly jump from nods to passionate embraces? Oh, she's got a surprisingly bold side to her, after all. I mean, she was just jerking you off earlier. I don't think there are many ladies out there who would press themselves against a heavily wounded man, especially when that man is you. She might even jerk you. Well, pardon me for being myself. All kidding aside, I really think that, given the situation, you ought to go and ask her in person. Stop miscommunicating. We're near the end of your route. Come on! Both of you have the same problem, you see. Each of you always thinks more about the other than about their own self. So in uncertain times like this, it falls to you to be a man and take the initiative. And if she ends up rebuffing your affections, I shall be right here to comfort and console you. Yeah, I'm cool playing second banana. I'll be fine, thank you. I can jerk you off, Akechi, if she won't jerk you. And so, several days passed. I didn't care if Emily would actually come along, to be honest, because of her ongoing case with her parents, but it's Natome, and the route is almost done. Yeah. She can go on a little vacation, as a treat. Arrangements had been made for the children to return to England, aboard a trading vessel headed for London. Under the circumstances, one would expect me to join them on that same ship. However, I was still uncertain as to what I should do. Akechi and Kobayashi will be returning to Japan to assist with the investigation of an international incident. What a bro. Yeah, are you even bros if he's not offering to give you sloppy toppies? That's how you know that he's a homie. But where does that leave me? What should I do? Should I return to England? I'm afraid I cannot recommend that you actually travel to Japan. I found myself recalling what Akechi had once said to me, with a twinge of pain in my chest. I don't wish to trouble Akechi with my selfish desires. If telling him that I wish to join him on his journey would only cause him trouble, it would perhaps be for the best to simply say goodbye with a smile on my face. God, please don't miscommunication. It's the end of the route, bro. Please, communicate. I turned towards him, a maelstrom of emotion swirling within my heart. He was kneeling there so that he might see the children face to face. I looked back at him quietly, gazes filled with confusion. I was born and raised in a country very different from yours. The time I have spent in your homeland is far shorter than the lives you have lived there. But even so, and perhaps all the more because of it, I feel that your country is truly a wonderful place. A certain serenity seemed to settle over Akechi's features as he spoke. Are you sure about that, bro? I can think of no country more progressive, more alive with culture, and home to more women both strong and kind. You've been to 2 countries. Well, he's been to India too. He's in India right now. I'm genuinely glad I was granted the opportunity to visit from far across the sea, and to have been given the chance to learn there. I don't think he's walked around. True. So please, Hold high your heads and be proud of the country in which you were born. It's like saying you went to Germany when you went there for a week and sat in the hotel the entire time. I mean, you were still in Germany. It was still a German hotel. And do not forget that your nation, whose memories I will ever cherish, needs your energy and your smiles to keep it strong.
あなたたちには少し難しかったかもしれませんね。
All that might seem a bit difficult to take in, but did you understand what I said? The children nodded in response. Some were slow to signal their affirmation, while others reacted with far more forcefulness.
それは
Technically true. It reassures me to see that. He then went around, placing his hand on the head of each of the children, one by one. Each reacted in a different way. From some he elicited surprise, while others seemed altogether uncertain how to respond to such a gesture. But by the time he had withdrawn his hand, each wore a smile, even if shyly and tentatively.
やっぱり明智ってなんだかんだ言って面倒見いいよな。
He really is quite good when it comes to looking after others. As I looked on, I couldn't help but think back to that time when he had tousled young Rick's hair in the same manner as now. In that moment, I completely understood how that child must have felt, constantly chasing Akechi, desiring fervently to become his pupil. But while Rick was able to chase after him without pausing to worry whether Akechi might find his actions bothersome, giving heed only to his own desires, I was unable to.
困らせてはいけないと分かっている。
I'd never want to cause him trouble or be a burden, but even so...
一言だけ、たった一言、一緒に来てほしいって言ってくれたら。
Oh, come on, Akechi. If he were to tell me plainly he wanted me to come with him, even just that, every doubt would vanish.
それなのに、どうして私には何も言ってくれないの？
Surely he must realize at least that. So why does he remain silent? Instinctively, I squeezed my eyes tightly shut, setting up the tears that threatened to flow forth. Nobody has probably seen you for weeks, Emily. Shut the fuck up. But even with time to stop me in my sadness, it would continue its march for others. Emily. I opened my eyes and found Akechi standing there before me.
Akechi-san!
Why don't we just go run away to Japan so everyone I know can think I'm dead? A flash of embarrassment took hold of me, and my first thought was to immediately excuse myself. She's smoking all the fucking opium now that everyone else she was freeballing with got shot. Please, wait. He gently took hold of my arm, as though to calm my fears.
恥ずかしい話ですが、ここ数日ずっとあなたのことを考えていました。
As much as it embarrasses me to admit, these past few days I've thought of nothing but you.
いえ、ずっと悩んでいたと言った方が正しいでしょうか。
Although perhaps it is more appropriate to say that I have done nothing but worry over you instead. Days? You boated to Southeast Asia. Is it really that fast?
悩んでいた。
Yeah, this is like, what, 18th century? The boats ain't that good yet, right? You were worried?
あなたを潔くエゲレスへ送り出すべきなのか、僕のわがままをあなたにぶつけるべきなのか。
About whether I ought to see you off on your return to Ingelsh with a smile, or tell you of my own thoughts, selfish though they may be. At his words, my heart fairly skipped a beat.
本当ならここであなたとお互いの検証を願って別れれば綺麗に収まりがつくのかもしれません。
Under ordinary circumstances, we'd wish each other well and part ways here. each settling out our own destination.
でもそれができる
How could they be? They ain't got no gas
僕
in
はで
it.
きた男ではな
Yeah.
いとようやく気づきました
But I have finally come to realize that I cannot find it in me to want that.
遠くへ行ってしまうあなたに僕は検証なんて願えない
I cannot wish you well, knowing that we'll be a world away. I felt the firmness of his grip on my arm, that at his words it tightened ever so slightly.
明智さん
もしあなたが少しでも僕と一緒にいることを望んでくれるなら
Emily, if you have any desire, even the slightest wish to remain by my side,
僕と一緒に日本へ
then come to Japan with
お嬢様
my lady. Yeah, Pendleton, how are you here? How are you here, Pendleton? Huh? How'd you make it all the way over here, huh?
でもそれにしては
Hmm.
やけに鮮明
It
に
couldn't be, could it? He took a boat all the way over here. It couldn't be our boat, though. Definitely. Was that just my imagination? That sounded like... But just as I began to doubt my own ears, I heard it again.
お嬢様ご無事ですかお嬢様
Emily, please. Kobayashi won't stop trying to jerk me. My lady, are you alright?
俺の気のせいかものすごく聞き覚えのある声がするんだけど
Am I hearing things? That voice sounds strangely familiar. Kobayashi's puzzlement and Akechi's expression confirmed that I hadn't been the only one to hear the voice that had called out to me.
やっと追いつきましたかここまでたどり着くのには骨が折れましたよ
I finally managed to reach you. It's been quite the ordeal making it from London to India, I assure you.
ご無事で何よりですお嬢様
It pleases me greatly to see you in good spirits, my lady.
ペンデルトン
My surprise at seeing him strolling down the deck towards me could not have escaped anyone's notice.
ペンデルトンさん一体どこから降ってきたんだ
Pendleton? When did you get here?
あなたどうやってこんな場所に
How did you even get here? Made the whole trip in a rowboat.
お嬢様私を見くびらないでください私はお嬢様にお仕えしている執事ですよ
Do you honestly hold my abilities in such low esteem, my lady? I'm your faithful butler, you know.
お嬢様を連れ去った
I'm simply
船の
one
方
hell
を
of a
予測
butler.
し陸路で追いかけるとたやすいことです
I simply predicted the course of the ship that had taken you away and followed you via an overland route. A simple enough task.
陸路
By land?
嘘だろ
You've gotta be joking.
失礼です
How
ね
rude. I would
私
never
がお
hide
嬢
the
様に
truth
嘘
from
をつ
Lady
くわけがあ
Emily.
りません
He lied. He lied straight through his teeth.
よくここまで
Still, I'm amazed you were able to make the journey. This guy's got some secrets going on with him.
持つべきものはいざという時に
Friends who will
助
come
け
to
て
your
くれる
aid
友
in
人
the
ですよ
hour of need are one of life's greatest treasures, are they not? Pendleton, my guy, you do not get paid enough for this shit. Be for fucking real. Although we found Pendleton's story to strain all credibility, there was no doubting that it was indeed he who stood there before us.
しかし明智君と小林君にも困りました
Still, I
ね
can scarcely believe Akechi and Kobayashi are here as well.
まさか
I
直
never
接船に
imagined
乗り
that
込む
they
なん
would
て
actually go so
考
far
え
as
も
to
しま
sneak
せんで
aboard
し
the
たよ
ship where you were being held.
ちっとも
Anike, them gloves too white for him to have secrets.
影から僕たちを
Is
焚
he
きつ
even
けて
wearing
おいて
gloves? Does he wear
よく
gloves?
そんな
I
品
guess he
々
does wear gloves. I'm amazed that you can lie with such a straight face, given that you most certainly aided us from the shadows.
おや一体
Oh,
何の話
whatever
です
are you talking about?
いいえ
I was just musing that
イギリスの
Engel's
執事は
butlers may well be as
日本の忍び
resourceful
並みに
and
有
able
能
as
な
the
のだと思った
shinobi
わ
of
けです
Japan.
それは買いかぶ
Well,
りですよ
surely
明
you
智君
overestimate my abilities,
私は
Akechi.
ただの
I'm just your
柔軟な
standard
執事です
highly capable butler.
ただの
All butlers are trained to murder an entire boat of people, after all. Standard, yet highly capable.
どうしてかし
Is
ら
it just me, or does there seem to be some disagreeable circumstance between the two of them?
私が教会で捕まっている間に
Did something happen while I was being held prisoner beneath the church? Wait, Pendleton fucking waited.
お嬢様、インドの乾燥した気候は
My lady,
お
I
嬢
feel
様
the
のお肌
climate
には合
here
いま
will
せん。
not be good for your
私と
skin.
共に
We should
早
make
く
our
イギリ
return
スへ
to
戻り
England
ましょ
at
う。
once. Why else would you have butlers?
でも
But he waited until they were on international lawless waters. There are no laws. So that's why.
すみませんが、ペンデルトン
That's why he didn't help out. If you would excuse me, Pendleton. Uh-oh. Suddenly, Akechi took hold of my arm. He about to commit tax fraud.
一つ言わせてください。
I have something I feel I must say.
僕
Would you
の目の
kindly
前
stop
で
trying to take her away
彼
right
女
in
を
front
連
of
れ
me?
去ろうとするのはやめて
Can't
く
be
ださい。
charged for 15 murders.
明智さん
Wait, I thought you
お
knew.
やおや、八つあたりはやめてください、
Well,
明智君。
I knew that it was him, but not that he waited purely so he could get away with murder. Come now, there's no need to lay your failings upon me, Akechi. Under what jurisdiction?
もったいぶってさっさと言わないあな
Rather
たに
than
も非が
spending
あ
so
りま
long ruminating on it, you should have just come out and asked her. Was that not what you were saying from the start? Well, not just with murder, also with getting there illegally.
わざとあのタイミングで
Says
声
the
を
one
か
who
けると
deliberately
は
waited until the least convenient moment possible to make his appearance. You're quite the piece of work, Pendleton. The murder was just for fun, a side hobby.
ありがとう
Why, thank you.
大体
Incidentally,
あなた
might
はい
I
つからお
inquire
嬢
as to
様
when
の
you
名前を
began
呼びする
calling
ようにな
Lady
った
Emily by her given name? Cause, like, murder is more self-defense.
彼女をどう呼ぼうが
Yeah,
僕
don't worry, sir. I simply killed those 15 men in self-defense. I will call her whatever I please, thank you. Ooh. Alright. I think I will save here for the day. For London Detective Mysteria. And then we will finish Akechi's route next time. I will be putting in the Discord a poll for people to vote on our next route. And I will go on a BRB because I want to get myself a nice hot cocoa because my throat's hurting a little bit. Sorry, I want something nice and comfy to drink and to rest my voice a little bit. But I will be back in a little bit with some Isomnium files. So I'll see y'all in a bit.